Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. So here we go again. Another shot fired between Ray Fisher and Warner Brothers. So Ray Fisher, here's the headline from Cosmic Book News. Ray Fisher allegedly turned down The Flash for more money. No, he was not going to be recast as The Flash. He was going to be Cyborg in Flashpoint, which curiously enough, the original Flashpoint story, Cyborg played a very big role in that story. And that was written by Jeff Johns. This new version, it might just be a cameo. And if money was the deal, he wanted to be paid a higher amount when he's only going to be in it for a few scenes. That could be the stumbling block. But anyway, McCloy here, of course, he was big on, he's big on DC overall, and certainly Snyder Cut and that sort of thing. So, and even myself, even though I'm questioning it's the way he's delivered this and made his accusations, I appreciated Ray Fisher's support for Zack Snyder. He was early on in that and all that stuff, which is kind of odd in all of this because I always thought, well, you won big, so, good Lord, what could possibly have happened on that set? He knows. You don't need an investigation. He can just flat out spell it out and say, yeah, this is what it was. But for the most part, it's him, and then Momoa backs him up and says, yeah, it was a crappy set. Well, it might have been, but you make it sound like some horrific crime was committed and that sort of thing. I don't know what the end result would be of the investigation. He wants these people exiled away from Warner Brother Films and all that. Yeah. Anyway, however, this might just be hit piece number 2. So the Wrap did it. Now it's the Hollywood Reporter jumping in on this. And the article is basically about the recent news that Zack Snyder will be filming more scenes in October, and Ray Fisher will be a part of that. So, so being cast as a superhero side, but yeah, Ray Fisher, he got, not just like everybody else about it was a crappy set and all that sort of stuff, but the reshot Joss Whedon version of the film cuts up a lot of his scenes out of it, and that there, even early on, there was plans to say, well, we'll spin off a Cyborg movie out of this. So this was his big break, and then he could have gotten his own franchise of Cyborg movies, provided he was successful on it, but Justice League bombed, and so that's got to leave a really bitter taste in his mouth over this, and of course, he's blaming the people in charge of taking it away from Snyder and redoing it as the movie that bombed. But it gets really nasty where now he's kind of insinuating Walter Hamada. Not insinuating, he said that Walter Hamada said, hey, you can trash Whedon and John Berg, but not Jeff Johns. Now Hamada and Warner Brothers says, no, that's not what happened. It didn't say it. So somebody's lying there. So which is it? And but the thing of it is, of course, Jeff Johns does have some involvement in with DC, but not like he did at the time. So my advice to Fisher is move on. I'm not seeing what it is that he needs done here. So now it's like, well, he wanted more money for his scenes in The Flash, and that could have boiled down just to that. But so the Hollywood Reporter goes into this, so they talk to people of insiders who were on that set, and says that the Justice League reshoots conducted by Whedon were messy and hastily assembled affair. Well, that's understandable considering the circumstances. Snyder left because of the tragedy, and then Whedon comes in, and Snyder, it says right here, and this has always been important by people who said there's no Snyder Cut. He left it May 2017 for a release in November. So, he never shot anything at that point. I mean, come on. So yeah, he goes, Whedon and crew come in, and they got to hurry up and get this. I do recall the rumor, or Whedon said you need to cancel the November release date and push it into 2018 so that I could come up with something. I said, no, because of the executives wanting their bonus pay. They had to get their movies out on schedule, so they didn't care what he threw together. there's your problem. Well, one of many. So, to be fair to Whedon, that's actually true. If he'd had more time, he could do an entirely different movie, which is what they wanted. But he could have worked on it better instead of this tight rush job stuff that they had. So they all had to deliver, and they all had to pull some sort of magic trick here to make it work. And of course, there is no such thing as magic, so it was not going to work. So, but yes, Whedon jettisoned many of Fisher's scenes. There's a whole a narrative for Cyborg in that Snyder's version, and it's all gone. So obviously, he didn't like that. So, and they say it's unclear if he filed any complaints about treatment on the set, whether, and the treatment, what is it? You got in arguments, he yelled at you, he called you names or whatever. Okay, but that's life. I mean, I'm not seeing anything here to make this sound like there needs to be, like it's some kind of crime was committed, which obviously there wasn't. Fisher's in talks with Warner Bros. To make a cameo in The Flash, Justice League spinoff movie due to shoot next year. He has options negotiated for future appearances, including cameos beyond the initial film. But in earlier drafts of the Flash script, Cyborg was a much more active player than the one in the current script. Sources say the studio exercised its option for Flash, even upping its negotiated price for what's described as a 3-scene appearance. Oh, jeez. Fisher's side countered with the figure doubling that. Warner's turned that down, and negotiations have remained stalled for weeks. So a lot of this could be a battle over that. So that's the point they're making, that he's holding out for more money, and that's what the argument's really about. And whether Jeff Johns gets the boot from all things DC or not, he may not even really care. And he shouldn't. If he wants Jeff Johns, gee, I'm sorry I said, I don't know what, I want you to say booyah, and I'm mad at you that you didn't. And it's pretty vicious. Well, I'm mad at you for wanting me to say booyah. I don't know. Yes, obviously, of course, we don't know what the truth is, and that's the problem. So he had posted this, and Fisher responded on Twitter. It would appear that WB Pictures has gone from giving libelous official statements to one media outlet to becoming a source of purposeful misinformation for another. The people are on to you. The investigation is coming. Casting aspersions on me will not change that. A is greater than E. A lot of the timeline and stuff does fit what we do know. As for the specifics of what happened on the set, well, Ray, you could say it. I mean, you did pretty much counter Walter Hamada. You didn't have a problem saying that. So it seems like you could be more specific as to what it is. When saying it's a thinly veiled threat that Jeff Johns did in The Office, the problem is thinly veiled. It's open to interpretation of what it is. Is it worth anybody else being bothered with it? At this point, no. Now, if he's got the goods on something or other of what happened, it seems like he would have said something by now. So I maybe it is money. I don't know. And it could be that, and the fact that he doesn't like that he's just a cameo in the movie when the earlier script had more of a role in it, which again comes back to, oh boy, was the earlier script closer to the actual Flashpoint story? Well, yeah, Cyborg played a huge role in that story. Yeah, that was Jeff Johns' script. Boy, it's just round and round we go, isn't it? Gee, I just hope it doesn't mess up the victory that is Snyder Cut and the potential for the DCEU to make its major comeback and go forward. Hopefully that doesn't all get squelched. So anyway, Jason Momoa, who oddly enough seemed to drop out of the recent DC Fandom virtual convention, and is not listed to participate in the Snyder Cut reshoots, did back up Fisher's claim. So, I mean, does that mean that, there's problems? Because he did get mad. He was mad about the Frosty the Snowman thing, which I'd never even heard until he complained about it. And he does back Ray Fisher's claims that the treatment on the set was bad. And with Joss Whedon in charge, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was pretty crappy. I don't doubt that part of it. But is it something to be crying about at this point? I don't know. I'm not really. Again, there's not enough here. So an investigation is coming. Well, it's already underway, but then you said the investigation that is underway doesn't count because claiming that they're actually hired by Warner Brothers and not Warner Media, which you said you wanted, but Warner Media apparently said, no, this is our investigation. Yeah, that becomes a bit of a problem. So there are some inconsistencies that Fisher has displayed here. And so if that's the case, then I don't know what his game is here. And I don't really see how it's helping him. Because, again, the conclusion is the same. You had already won. And, I mean, the Snyder Cut plays out and wins big. Yeah, there could be a Cyborg movie come out of that. But with all of this, I don't see how this gets you a movie. Anyway, so, we'll see. We'll get some more details. And we'll see how this goes for Ray Fisher and the DCEU.
All right. Thank you for watching and listening. Why not like and subscribe and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you. You know, hats, mugs, stickers, posters, all that goody stuff. Plus, you can head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book Night Night. Oh, yeah. Plus, you can also catch my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, over at RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on my channel at BitChute. That's the Mr Nailsin channel on BitChute.